enjoying this way too much.
I'm gonna see you guys on stage. Let's go.
Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. My name is Dedeyan. I am from Montreal. I literally manifested this moment in my life. So we're just about to go on stage. You have to understand that the subconscious mind is anywhere between 90 to 95% of the whole mind, and the conscious mind is 5 to 10%, okay? So it is definitely different. Now the subconscious mind is creating everything you have in your universe, in your three-dimensional world right now. That is positive or negative. You're manifesting success, you will get it. You're manifesting a position, you will get it. You're manifesting money, you'll get it. But the other hand, if you're manifesting fear, doubt, insecurities, it will give it to you with the same amount of abundance.
The 4 pillars of high performance. Like I said, I'm blessed to be doing this for several years now, and I'm blessed to have top-tier entrepreneurs, and all we talk about is how to be very high performing. To do so, there was an ideology that I came up with my team, and we looked at 4 main elements within your life to look at, and if you really put your time into it, this is how you become high performing at a high level. I realized these are the 4 main pillars that you have to look at. If we look at these 4 pillars, you'll be able to be high performing consistently throughout your day. The first pillar is your morning routine. The second pillar is your work routine. Third pillar is your emotional routine. And finally is your sleep routine. So finally, they said there's something wrong with me. They went and they brought me to professionals and they got me tested. And finally, I was diagnosed at 8 years old with dyslexia. So let me find a career that doesn't have a lot of reading and writing. So what I found was fireman. Yes, let's go into that. The fire truck, the adrenaline, the boys, yes. Throughout that process, I realized that that wasn't the reason why I was put on this planet. There was something inside of me that was calling me towards entrepreneurship. So much so, I remember when the teacher used to come into the classroom and say, kids, put 7 teams up. Even before she finished the word 3, I had my head up and I was looking for who reads the best, who writes the best. Let me put the team together, let me delegate the work and get the grade together. Delegation 101, entrepreneurship. I remember when I used to go to college and fail a grade, I used to go see the professor and be like, oh no, sir, that's not what I meant. This is what I meant. Negotiated my grade about to pass. Negotiation 101. So I was already cultivating skills to be an entrepreneur without even knowing. And I had to do that because I was dyslexic.
We have 4 main pillars within Dedeyan Enterprises. And like you mentioned, the main goal is really to optimize people's performance in the business world and in their personal life, because we truly believe if you're not taking care of the individual, he's not going to thrive at the maximum capacity within his business. So the first pillar that we have is through speaking. So I'm a professional speaker, growing that repertoire as well. I get other speakers under the organization. We have executive one-on-one coaching that we work with C-suite executive, top-tier entrepreneurs that really want to go to that next level within their business and personal life. Then we have our academy, which is an online course for, once again, same type of clientele. And then finally, we have our podcast agency, the Dedeyan Podcast Agency. So we take our top tier entrepreneurs and we get them to be guests on top tier podcasts that get them a great visibility. They're able to talk about their products, their service, their ideologies, and from there they get clients. So those are the 4 main pillars of Dedeyan Enterprises for the moment. You have to understand that there's 5 main brain waves, okay? The first brain wave is the gamma ray. The gamma is very, very fast. That happens when you have like great ideas, like aha moment, right? You have gamma rays. Then you go into beta. Beta is the wave that we're most probably in right now, which is we're awake, we're active state. Then you go into alpha. Alpha is a more calm state. When we're meditating, we're more in an alpha state. When you're reading a book after work, you're more in an alpha state. Then you go into theta. Theta is even more slow. So you're kind of going between falling asleep and staying awake. And then finally, you have delta, which is completely knocked out. You are sleeping. Now, why am I saying this? It's because you have to understand the alpha and theta state are the direct states that are correlated, the bridge between your conscious and subconscious mind. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard this. Some people go to bed with listening to positive affirmations and it comes into action. The reason why that is exactly this, because they're doing it when they're falling asleep in alpha and theta state. And actually, Anne alluded to this in her speech as well. When she falls asleep, she has some great ideas. It's because your brain waves are so much more active to be creative in that end.
My question is, when something happens and you are in emotional reaction,
yes,
and the event is happening. So what are your tips to come back into the conscious mode when you think about visualization and knowing that you can control your thought and you can speak to yourself?
Okay, awesome question. When I'm in that state, this is exactly what I do. I take 4 breaths in at a count of 4. So I hold it for 4 seconds, and then I exhale for 4 seconds. That's a box breathing. I do that for 10 sets. as I'm doing that, what's happening? When you're in that emotional state, what's happening? Your heartbeat's going faster. You're a bit more chaotic. You're seeing your brain go negative. By recentering yourself with your breath, you're controlling your heartbeat, you're going in a more calm state. That's what I use.
There was 3 seconds left into the game. I had the basketball in my hand. My teammate was covered. I cross over the guy. Take the shot. 3, 2, 1. And yes, NBA MVP, Christopher Dedeyan. I was 14 years old and I was dreaming.
Donc ici, tout le monde, j'espère ce matin, s'est brossé les dents. En tout cas, je vous le souhaite. Je vais vous donner un exemple. Quelque chose de banal, comme j'ai dit, brosser les dents, c'est super facile. Mais imagine ce matin, vous vous êtes levé, vous êtes mis à brosser vos dents, puis là, vous brossez vos dents, mais c'est difficile. C'est rushant. Vous commencez à suer, là, vous êtes en train de brosser vos dents, puis vous rushez. Puis c'est ça la dyslexie pour moi. Quelque chose de banal qui devient difficile. Lecture, c'est pas quelque chose de difficile, mais quand tu te mets à lire pour un dyslexique, c'est quelque chose qui demande un effort de plus, qui demande de petits souhaits de plus. Puis c'est ça, c'est la meilleure façon que j'ai pu vous expliquer dans les yeux d'un dyslexique, c'est quoi.
Man, how do I know you're dyslexic?
Yeah,
you don't sound it, man.
For me to get to this position, I have worked on my craft. Like I said, that speech that I went on and I gave that first time, I have been blessed by the universe with this gift of communication. But I don't sit on that. I could have all the talent in the world, but if I don't work on it, I'm not going to get anywhere. If you're dyslexic and you're supposed to be an author, brother, write. Sister, write. Do what you got to do that. Find the resources to get there, right? I understand that, oh, wait a minute, is this kid really dyslexic? It's very polished the way he's speaking. It's because there's hours and hours into my craft.
Yeah.
Studying it, speaking it, and this is what it comes down to the product. But there's a lot of things that gets developed because I was dyslexic, right?
The basis of who we are is through storytelling. So when you go on stage and you tell these stories, people are able to associate with that self, that story, and associate their personal life with it. Then they're like, hey, I am not alone. So that's the aspect that's highly important in that regards to connect as a speaker, as a communicator through storytelling. And everything around us is storytelling, from movies to reading books, to business, to speaking. So if you understand the power of storytelling, I truly believe you're going to succeed as a communicator in general.
Usually your top level goal, it's something that's going to take a bit longer. It's going to be a long-term goal. It's going to take a couple of years to get there, right? It's your top tier in that regards. Your mid-level goal, it's something that is in between. It's maybe going to take you a little bit less time, but it's linked up with your top level goal. So that we're talking about intermediate in that regards. We're talking about a couple of months, maybe a quarter, so on and so forth. And your low level goal, like I mentioned, is something you do on a daily basis that you can control every single day, right? So that's something that's controlled by you, and your success is dependent within that. If I say I want to be a basketball player and top tier, if I wake up every single day and take 1,000 free throw shots, 1,000 dribbles, can I control that every single day? Yeah, it's going to be difficult, it's going to be challenging, but that's something I control. And if I do it every day, day in, day out, then I have a chance to go to college with that, then I have a chance to go into NBA. So what you want to do is look at every single goal like this and break it apart. Once again, in the PDF that I'm going to send you guys, if you guys give me your emails, you'll be able to set your goals into circles and break it apart. This is where people have a hard time. They set a goal and they just leave it there. But you have to manageably break it apart to look at what you need to do on a daily basis. So then you look at your success just with that daily basis. It's not about the money. It's not about being in the NBA. It's about doing things you need to do every single day. And if you do it consistently enough, one day you will wake up and you'll be like, holy moly, look at me, I'm in the NBA.